and welcome to What's Left. I'm your host, John, with Jake and Brad. We are the punk rock garage band of podcast, adding our voices of resistance as loudly as we can. Here on the Derealization Nation Media Network. Death hath a name, and it's James David. RFK gets his magna bodifized by an assault on a marginalized community. Doge's final tally of savings amounts to 0.173% of the government's total budget, despite their wholesale destruction of entire government agencies. States are receiving no aid from FEMA. The United States is spending billions on drone strikes and bombings in Yemen, killing innocent people and terrorists alike. Stock market manipulation and meme coin scams are open secrets, but at least Apple is exempted from Chinese tariffs. There's still plenty of money left over to give tax breaks to billionaires. It's a real hot, humid locker room stall full of protein shits and balled up toilet paper this week. Brad, what hit you in the face when you're stepping out of the shower today?
I'm gonna pick Donald Trump being a pussy. I think
Yeah.
it seems like the easiest one. So our fearless leader stood on at a podium and told us that tariffs were bringing in $2 billion a day. Real quick, just so everybody understands, that's $2 billion that Americans were paying in taxes. But nevertheless, Donald Trump told us that tariffs were bringing in $2 billion a day, and then decides tariffs are a terrible idea because every economist and box store corporation owner told him that this is truly devastating and will just lead to empty shelves within months. So Donnie backed off because Donnie doesn't actually believe in anything or have any idea what the fuck he's doing.
No.
Donald Trump is merely just throwing shit at a wall and hoping that something sticks.
Yeah. That's
he's never had a plan.
Yeah.
He's had a plan, but it's never been a good one. And every economist told us that it wasn't a good one.
If only the Nobel laureate economist had said something about this.
Yeah. Surprisingly enough, those 16 Nobel economists weren't creating some master plan to defraud Trump. Imagine that. It was just the facts of the fucking matter.
Wow. Are you serious? Wow.
So now Donald Trump gets on and tells us that China's coming to the table, except for now China is reporting that they're not coming to the fucking table. That Donald Trump is just talking. So when they asked Donald Trump today, I believe it was, in a presser, who did he meet with? He said, well, that's a secret, and maybe that'll come out one day. But we're going to end this press conference right here. That's essentially what he said. We're going to stop right now. That question ain't good. I don't have an answer for it because no one's fucking meeting. Because this whole time, when Trump started a fucking trade war that was set up to crash our economy, it also made these countries look elsewhere. And now they don't give a shit if we make a deal or not because China has already put it in place that they don't need to work with us.
Yeah, listen, just some of the people who have better researched this than I have said that China has been preparing for this since the first time that Trump decided there would be a trade war in his last administration. So they are super fucking ready for this. They, unlike us, were prepared, and they knew exactly. They knew this was going to happen, so they've been preparing. They've been expanding in Africa. They have. There's a reason that they've been producing all of the rare earth minerals for so long. There's a reason that they have been creating all of the infrastructure for green energy because they know that's where the rest of the world's at, and the United States can't provide it. And with the destruction of the CHIPS Act, it ain't coming. China's saying stuff like, basically, they're not coming to the table until he takes all of the tariffs off. And that's like all of them, like even the ones that he installed in his first term that Biden kept in place, small ones, before they'll even fucking discuss anything with them. They are literally big timing this guy in public, and it is fucking embarrassing. And then
it's embarrassing.
The fucking Truth Social, please, Vladimir. What the fuck is that? Did you guys catch that?
Yes. What are we doing?
Please stop. What?
Remember when they said that we look weak?
Oh my God.
They told us we look weak. Our last president looked weak to the world.
Yeah,
But this man's groveling at the feet of fucking Vladimir Putin
yeah,
and basically begging China to forgive us for something that is a direct result of him just not knowing what the fuck he's doing.
yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're fucking, tweeting in all caps. That's not what makes you a tough. That's not what makes you a good, strong leader. That's not what makes you. That's what make you respected in the world. People have absolutely zero respect for you because you've broken every deal that you have, even the Iran deal. That he backed us out of the Iran deal, which was working perfectly, flawlessly. Iran was complying at every point, and then he backs out of it, and now he wants a fuck another nuclear deal. What the fuck incentive do they have to give him a nuclear deal? What incentive does anyone have to give him anything? That's Canada's point too. They said we gave him what he wanted. We put a Mountie out there and called him fucking czar of the border or whatever the hell he was talking about, or fentanyl czar. We gave him all the fake toys that he wanted, and he still fucking screwed us. So fuck this.
That's
I mean,
exactly how they feel. These countries don't care anymore. We are not. We are no longer the leader on a global stage solely because of what Trump did.
he mad overplayed his hand. Mad
And maybe
overplayed.
we weren't. Maybe we haven't ever. Maybe we aren't the leader on the global stage. And maybe we weren't before this. But now it is very apparent to us that we are no longer the powerhouse. We do not hold the cards now in this trade war.
I think the delusion wasn't that we were the world power. I think it's that the reason why we were the world power. We were the world's power because the world said, "Okay, you're the world's power. Like you want to be you want to be you want to hold on to all the weapons. That's cool. Like we'll give you these goods and trades. We'll accept your credit. You've come to our age. You've established NATO. You established the UN. You've had these things in place. It's protecting the security of the world. We've had peace for 75 years. So go ahead and get away with being the United States and be prosperous. And you hold on to the money, and we'll borrow through your system or whatever. And the and we thought like we get this idea like this American exceptionalism comes because our dicks are bigger than everybody's or something. And it's just not the way that the world works. You know what I mean? We're just part of the world community. We are not the world. And there's so many ways in which we are behind the rest of the world, and there's so many ways in which we prop. Not only do we prop up parts of the world, sure, but the world props us up too, and we are finding that out in a very hard way. And the worst of it is yet to come. So we're not even there yet.
It's always hilarious to me when Fox News releases a damning article or a damning poll about Donald Trump, how quickly he's like, oh shit, the fucking Fox Entertainment is turning on me. I need to do something. Because Fox released a poll saying that his approval for the job, for the economy right now, is lower than any president ever in the history. Even the fucking president that they claimed was the worst president in American history, Joe Biden, didn't have a disapproval rating like Trump did. The only comparable one was actually Donald Trump in his first term. But it's like all the fucking Fox News MAGA folk forgot about that because they remembered the racism thing. And then they were like, oh, yeah, fuck yeah, this is our guy.
Yeah, that's our
This
guy.
is our guy. Yeah, but they forgot that he actually has no idea what he's doing.
No, just all caught up in the brown people are the problem.
He's clueless.
Mm.
The issue with Pete Hegseth and the fact that he hasn't made him step down yet or fired him yet just shows the cowardice because he's essentially just like, well, I need to keep the loyalist, even if they're not loyal to America, they're loyal to me.
He's afraid to be surrounded by anyone who might question him. It's
Yes,
just not a sign. It's not the sign of strength that they think it is.
I don't. I'm just tired of like being a joke. We're a joke. We're a joke. As you know, I fucking love this country so goddamn much, and we're supposed to be the best. And he just makes me feel not proud to be an American anymore.
No, I don't look
Like
at the
I,
flag anymore and like I see somebody at the gym wearing an American flag T-shirt, and I think, ooh,
yeah,
like it recoils me,
yeah.
and
What
that's
are we celebrating?
how that's supposed to be.
No, we're supposed to feel a sense of pride when we see the flag flying. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
how that's what it's supposed to mean to us, and it doesn't anymore.
You imagine you imagine how like people in Palestine must feel about the American flag?
Right? That is not a sense of prosperity in their eyes.
God no. That is a sign of an oppressor. It's a sign of somebody who doesn't care about them, doesn't recognize them. It's fucked up. And I mean, when you have whole groups of people within this country that they don't care to recognize or care about, it should be no surprise to the rest of the world that we are selfish garbage peoples, you know?
Exactly. So that's mine. It's just how embarrassing we look on a global scale, how embarrassing we look to our own people, and how much of an obvious failure this is. I don't see as much on social media of people posting in support of Trump right now. I don't see that. Um, and the people that do still do it, their thing is still going back to, well, what about Biden? Well, what about Biden? Well, guess what, brother? I didn't vote for Biden this election. So, like, I don't know what that has to do with the price of tea in China because I didn't vote for Biden
Right.
because he wasn't a candidate.
Wasn't on the goddamn ticket.
Right. I don't like it. I don't give a shit about Biden. They still are they still don't understand that we don't give a fuck who is in charge. There's not a clear leader in the Democratic Party because we just want someone to take the lead. Like we don't care as long as you are putting our values first.
Yeah.
And these people have just pledged allegiance to Trump to the point that they don't give a fuck about values. I don't care. No rational person can tell me that this is good. There's not one rational person that can give me a reason why the situation we are in is good. I would love to hear it. I'm all for opposing counterpoints as long as they're not, well, what about Joe Biden? Because that's not a counterpoint. I need you to tell me what Trump is doing that is good. And if you tell me that it's sending fucking brown people to other parts of the fucking world to be imprisoned, I don't respect you because that's not helping anyone.
No, you've lost me.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't feel the need to have that discussion with anyone.
fuck him.
Fuck them. Fuck it. Can't stand them. Jake, what surprise destruction took your breath away when you opened the door to the news this week?
Um, the continuing fight for LGBTQ plus issues. There's a lot this week, small ones, big ones. It's really sad to see even our own Democratic leaders are not fighting for us the way that they always claim that they do. There's a person, I don't want to say his name wrong, Ram Emanuel, Ram,
Probably.
R-H-A-M. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on Jennifer Welch's podcast, and she's really good. It's her and her friend, they do it. It's really funny if you ever want to
Mhm.
watch it. She brought up issues about the trans and everything, and how he claimed that we were a family based, working in the family homes for the Democrats. And she's like, well, what about the trans people? And he said it was like almost like a waste of time. He said it was such a small part, and we're not a core, which is our whole thing. We're a community, which is a core. So that was a big thing. Cutting costs to the suicide hotlines. Trevor Project's been around since 1998. They've helped billions of kids. Um, uh, Alone in January, suicide hotlines for LGBTQ plus people peaked in January of 60,000 just in that month of Trump's inauguration. 60,000. And they're
Wow.
going to cut costs to this. Like, we exist. We are here. I don't know if those numbers shock anyone. They've helped millions of kids over the years because I don't think any government should turn their back to that many suicide attempts. It is the second highest leading cause of teen deaths, and we can all guess the first, unfortunately, but it's the second. J.K. Rowling is a piece of shit. I used to love Harry Potter. Now I don't even know if I want it on my bookshelf just because it has her name on it.
Yeah.
Um, Her tweets after the UK Supreme Court decided that biological women are women and anything else is not. She supported it. and was all about it. Luckily, like people who actors in that movie are completely against her. They don't support her at all. Emma Watson, Daniel Radcliffe, they've all spoken out against her. Laverne Cox TV show on Prime, Amazon. It had a 98%, 98 or 89% Rotten Tomato rating, and it's being cut. I don't know if you can put two and two together, but I think we can tell why it's being cut. I don't want to say it out loud. And then my last is
a 98% rating.
Yep, and my last little turd, my little bunny turd, is the bringing discipline back into schools. I think it said physical discipline, if I read correctly.
Yeah,
which is
that was it.
scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are just my little ones.
Yeah, no big deal. 16.
We're just over here existing still. We do exist. Hello, it's Lesbian Visibility Week. Well, yeah. Here we are.
I don't understand. So this is my thing, and maybe what I'm going to say is controversial. But regardless of what these children identify as, they are children, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
They are kids. They are kids. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't care. It's crazy to me that we're turning our back on children. The party of pro-life is like, actually, fuck them kids, bro. Like, we don't actually care at all. They scream party values and pro-life and this is what we are and this is what we represent, but they are children. And we're just turning our backs on them and not giving them the easiest of access, like something that is, like you said, it's been a program for years. It's not something new. It's not like we're like, this is just like a ground operation. We're just starting it and they're shutting it down.
Right.
No, it's been around for years. It's been around as long as I've been alive.
Right.
Like, how is this negatively affecting literally fucking anyone? How could suicide prevention be hurting anyone?
0.173% of the government's total budget. That's what's been saved. None of that is worth one life, let alone millions of lives.
Millions.
I mean, what we're really seeing with this whole thing is that there are these effective, important programs, important things that the government does do. And these are the things that are being lost while they prop up the defense budget, the $1 trillion. The only thing they're willing to spend money on is the one place in government that can't pass an audit.
Yeah.
More than willing to sacrifice. So we're not, this war machine doesn't just sacrifice children overseas. It's sacrificing kids in your own neighborhood.
Yeah.
Kids in your own neighborhood. It's the effects of this are so far reaching. And just the message overall that has been sent up until this point, is, and for somebody like Rob Emanuel, his career in politics is over. So
I didn't know anything about him until I read that. So
he was Obama's ambassador to Japan, I believe.
Okay, I did think I would read that.
Yeah, his opinion is not important. He's not a congressman or a senator. And we are, like, Dick Durbin stepped down. Like, we are moving forward with a lot of these things in the Democratic Party. I hope and pray, because our stance on Palestine has to change. Our stance on LGBTQ plus issues has to be stronger. You simply cannot be, you can't choose to be a party of values. You see how it looks for just what he said about the GOP. It's complete hypocrisy, and it's untrue if you are unwilling to follow through, with children after birth. And it's the same with us. If we are unwilling to stand up for the most marginalized, you can't claim to stand up for marginalized communities at all.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
Because it always starts with the smallest of them. And it's the same point with the Abrego Garcia thing. There are Democratic politicians, Gavin Newsom, and some others who are anonymous or trying to be anonymous, who don't think that that's a fight worth having, who do not think the trans is a fight worth having. These are the only things that are worth having. If you are not willing to fight for due process, for lives, for the freedom of people to live their life as they see fit, then what the fuck are you doing in American politics?
Mm-hmm.
What do we stand for if we don't stand for that?
Right. I would like to take the power back and have the Democrats be the ones speaking more about trans people than MAGA. I've never heard anything more out of MAGA's mouth than trans people. Not once during a Democrat anything. I haven't heard. I haven't. Speak up for us, please. Hello.
Right. What
So
do we think about?
this is my opinion on that. As we all know, I think that the Democrats in Congress are cowards and they're not actually doing anything. But I think that they are steering away from it solely because of what Jake just said. Because the MAGA people really believe that there are trans people going into bathrooms and raping their kids at every fucking opportunity.
Yeah.
That's what they've been fed for the last 10 years.
Those people are so far down the rabbit hole, they are not gettable voters.
Yep.
They're not gettable voters. And not everything is politics. And sometimes politics is about doing the right thing and leading and changing public opinion, like with the gay marriage thing. Like this has been something that's been,
Yeah.
you know, what I mean? I just thought that interview was so good. And then today I'm listening to Pete Buttigieg on Flagrant, which is I don't know how people fucking listen to stupid shit like that. Those guys are so fucking annoying. But it is a good platform that politicians can go on and not be interrupted. Like they let them fucking roll. That show is I watched half of it. It's still another 3.5 hours to go. I don't know like what they fucking do in there. It's just nonstop. And sometimes I worry that like we talk over each other, but like 90% of the episode is just a muffled noise of them laughing and screaming at each other. And so I don't feel too bad. I don't feel too bad about this shit anymore. But it's his point was a lot like Sarah McBride's points. You know what I mean? Like let people know, and then if you can let people know that you care about them, then you can bring the other points with you. It's not a matter of the policy. The policy is not the problem. The people are not the problem. The community is not the problem. The problem is that you won't take that to people. And
Yep.
it's a lot. And Pete really focused more on like the finger wagging. He told a story about like how when he came out as a uh, I think a congressperson in Indiana at the time. He like wrote a letter op-ed to his local paper, and then one of his fellow Congress people, she came up to him after, and she's super, like right wing, and was talking about his partner, and she said, "I met your friend. He's very nice." And instead of like, dying on the hill of like, that's my partner, blah, blah, blah. He just said thank you. And they were able to like form a relationship and kind of bring her around. And it was kind of like, instead of being like the insisting on the full, like, that's not what this is, blah, blah, jumping down her throat or whatever, he just took the win. You know what I mean? He took that small little win and went with it because she was probably experiencing for the first time, a gay couple, like a normal, happy, two normal people in love with each other, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. I don't know. I guess I just want to offer some hope that there are that there are people out there who are taking this fight, who are doing this thing, but there aren't enough. But that's okay. We can get that momentum going. We can. We just keep bringing it up. I think I'd like to thank RFK because he really had put that thing in the fucking spotlight. That is hands down one of the most heinous things
He needs
that
to
is
stop.
just pointless. It's pointless. It's just cruel and pointless. No matter what you think of anybody, you shouldn't want them to fucking off themselves.
Yeah.
That's just
Oh,
fucked up.
good gay news. Tiger King got married.
Hell yeah.
Not all bad.
Yep, in jail. They got married in jail. Then they sent out AI generated wedding photos.
That's amazing. God, if Trump had actually gone to prison, his hands would be so full of fucking, his tiny little hands would be full of pockets. He'd have
Yeah. About your little buddy turds, if somebody at the school lays hands on my child,
Oh my
bro,
god.
I'm turning that bitch upside down. What? Are you kidding me? Hey, I'm giving the principal a swirly, bro. On my mama, the principal is getting a swirly.
Did not believe it. Like that was like so outlandish to me. I don't know why. It was just so crazy for me to think that like, oh, okay, we're okay with physical discipline back in schools until I saw it him nodding his head and agreeing and then seeing him sign the fucking paper. Did I believe it? Because I was like, there is no way.
No,
There's no way.
they're fucking batshit crazy.
And who's that old bitch behind him going, yeah, because they don't have control anymore. That's their own fucking problem. That just means you're not a good teacher.
Right.
Preach.
Listen, here's where we should take the solace. And I was talking to a friend yesterday about their student loans. You can take solace in the fact that they are incompetent as fuck. Most of these things are just executive orders and directives with no actual policy behind them. So a lot of it is just meant to scare people into doing the thing that they want them to do. Like they want people to pay back their student loans. They fired like the entire fucking staff over there already. Who's going to be collecting this stuff? You know? So like it's going to be difficult for them to enforce any of it because they have no one and they don't know what they're doing. So if there's anything to take a little bit of comfort in, it's the fact that they are woefully incompetent. So the execution of these things might be that one though in particular. Like I don't know. Like you just I guess you're just gonna like see teachers smacking students around and being like, Trump said I could do it, and then I don't know what happens
I
after
mean,
that.
like that's what I'm more afraid of. Like, yeah, it's not like place, but like people who like worship this guy because you either like don't like him or like you're kissing his feet. They'd
Yeah.
fall through with all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like they're the ones that are gonna be like, oh yeah, cool.
That's the problem.
They're
That's
gonna
the problem.
they might not have even considered hitting a child in school before, but they're going to go to school with a fucking ring on just to make sure they slap a kid sideways. Like because
Dude.
I
Oh
work
my
on
God.
it. I work in a completely hands off center. Like we're not supposed to touch, and we're fine. My days are fine. I have no problems.
We do not. Yeah, we are a very don't hit kids establishment, and we run just fine.
We're fine.
yeah. I don't know. The lady checking me out at the grocery store today, not like looking at me, checking me, like checking out my groceries, was telling me she's telling about how she like smacks her grandson. I'm like, I don't I don't want to know this. And why do you do that? Like, good,
Nice, Graham.
great, great. So there are
Honestly,
people out there who still like root for this shit.
I can raise two respectful, successful children without ever laying a hand on either of them. I'm pretty sure you can teach them addition, brother.
Yeah, want to teach them how to be resentful assholes. They're smacking.
Dude, oh my, I would go crazy, John. I would go absolutely nuts if someone put their hands on my kid. That would, oh, they'd see psycho behavior, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I hope it never happens, but if it does, what
Just
I hope.
know, yeah, I
Yeah,
got bail money. You just get me out, brother, and we'll go from there.
back out. We'll put the video up.
Yeah,
For everyone to watch. We'll get the
yeah.
TikTok. We'll get it from all the angles.
Oh, I'm acting a fool.
So, my God, yeah. What a just a quagmire of bullshit that is. And it is like it's when you set that tone from the top, that's where all the rest of the stuff, flows down from.
Mm-hmm.
All the other things. He said like J.K. Rowling felt empowered by the UK. You know what I mean?
She needs to be stopped too. Like I don't wrong. I don't
Yeah.
get it. I don't get it.
These people just need to be ignored.
Actually, I do get it because if you actually go back and read Harry Potter, her names for her kids, anyone not white, was completely racist.
Oh, that was always a red flag.
That was a very big. Me reading Cho
Always.
Chang as a character, no.
Yeah.
That should have been it for me right there. But
It really should have been. It really should have been.
The token black kid, Dean. Like that's it. That's it.
That's it. No, yep. No, we knew. We knew.
We fucking
Every
knew.
Uh,
We just didn't want it to be true.
The books were captivating. We were young and impressionable.
yeah.
I mean, that's just what that, you know.
It was, you know?
I didn't really have a social compass at 11.
Right.
No,
That's true.
no,
Now I just
no.
know she's a piece of shit because people can change. I just want to let all you MAGA folk know that you can change literally at any time, bro. I'll take you in. Will I do some light bullying about your poor choices? Obviously. But come on over, brother. The water's fine. Like, now's the time to get off. Like, you don't have to go down with the ship. You are not the captain, brother.
Boy, if there was ever like a last stop, here we are.
Yeah.
You know? Here we are. Because I gotta tell you, like, because these people are not looking out for you. This is how I'm going to transition into my turd for this week, and that is the two-tiered system of justice. Two tiers, big tier, little tier. The problem is, like I always say, Trump is not on the tier that he thinks that he is. The man who utilized every bit of his right to due process to avoid prosecution for 91 felony counts. 91 successfully avoided. I don't know, I'm not good at math. 34 less than 91 of them uh, by, by running and utilizing the system because he could afford an entire team of lawyers. He could afford as many delays as possible. He couldn't afford bail, but because he's a billionaire, somebody gave it to him, right? So all of these things that he was privy to, he is denying to everyone else. And these are things that even in the system before Donald Trump, the regular human being does not have access to because they just simply do not have the money to do it. The system only works if you have money. We see now at the border children representing themselves. Children cannot afford lawyers. So when the government doesn't provide them, you have little 4-year-olds sitting in the chair trying to advocate for their own citizenship. But Trump can afford 12 of them to avoid the evidence, the clear evidence of his own wrongdoing coming to light in court so that he can be elected president and continue to not pay for the things that he's done. But that's not enough for him. He has to turn around and do this too. He has to turn around and point out, yeah, you're goddamn right, I'm better, different, richer than you, and I'm going to prove it to you. He's pushing this gap between billionaires and regular people so fucking deep, just gashing it. The pump and dump schemes that he's doing to his supporters, the things that he's doing to the stock market, a regular human being cannot afford to get in and out of the stock market, but a hedge fund manager can. And not only is he fucking, not only can they do it, but he's giving them the information that they need ahead of time. This man has taken the rule of law and wiped his ass with it like it was some classified document sitting in his bathroom at Mar-a-Lago. He is absolutely one of the worst human beings on the planet. But it's not just him, it's him and all of his friends. It's Netanyahu in Israel. If Netanyahu ended that war today, he'd be in fucking prison. If Vladimir Putin ever left Russia, he'd be in fucking prison. Maduro. All over the world, there are these people with money who can afford to fuck the system, but it's not supposed to be that way here. What makes this system great is supposed to be the rule of law. The fact that every person gets treated equally under the law. Donald Trump was not treated equally, but he was not a fucking victim. Donald Trump was the opposite of that. The system victimizes almost every person that gets put into it. Donald Trump was not one of those people. But Donald Trump has taken that system and weaponized it against the poorest and most marginalized people in our community. And he has taken away the right to due process for people who cannot afford to speak up for themselves. And people are going to find out real fast how many of us that is. If this continues to be allowed to happen, it is not going to stop here. And you heard it everywhere, and you're going to keep hearing it because it's the fucking truth. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, whatever he has done or not done, is fucking irrelevant because he is all of us. Because right behind Kilmar Abrego Garcia is Jersey Reyes Barrios. Right behind him is a bunch of other people whose names we don't even fucking know. The only thing we know is that their family is missing them, that they have been completely disappeared, that they are gone. We don't know if they're gang members. We don't know if they're not gang members. What we do know is that they were taken from their families and disappeared. And there is almost nothing on the planet that you can do that earns you that. And being in one country as opposed to another is not grounds for a life sentence in a concentration camp. And somebody who has successfully skirted the law, like Donald Trump, you would think would have a little empathy for people who break the law. Instead, he is showing how much of a piece of shit he is by doing exactly what he's doing and turning around and attacking people. This has been on my mind since the beginnings of these trials, because people downplay blue collar crime like it's not a real crime. But there are so many other crimes too that we never even got to see adjudicated in court because this man got elected. But they're all severe, they're all serious, and they're all easily provable. Man is guilty of so many things, and he is preying on the innocent. If this is not your time to get off the Trump train, then I don't know what is. If you are still on board with this, you really need to look deeply inside. Look in the fucking mirror before it's too late. Before it's too late. Before it's you, your neighbor, your kid. Before it's someone you know and love. Before it happens to you. Because it will. It will. It's simply unfathomable to me. And it's as somebody who, spent their life caught up in the system and saw myself as a victim. I can tell you, I was not. I was breaking the law. I got punished, and I deserved it, right? But even there, my privilege, I appreciate because I've been there. Like, I got punished far less for doing the same things as many people. And it it is that I got punished less than most of the black friends that I made in prison. I definitely got punished less than most of the Hispanic friends that I made in prison. And I even got oppressed less than the kids that lived in these rural communities where they're the only kids in town and they just get followed around by the cops everywhere. And the judges throw the book at them. Where I grew up, I went downtown court in downtown Youngstown. They looked at me like, "Who did you shoot?" "No one." "Bye." And, so I got away with so much and had no appreciation for it. Donald Trump is that privilege unrecognized on a skyscraper scale. On a skyscraper scale. The important thing is that when incarceration or rehabilitation works, you become aware of it and you make changes. But when it doesn't happen, there's no consequence. There is zero chance that person comes to that conclusion. Well, not zero chance, but there's little chance that person comes to a conclusion on their own if they're not a fucking psychopath, which he is. So this whole thing is just, it hits me and I hate it. I hate every bit of it. I've seen the system screw poor people who don't speak English, get sent away for things they never did all the time. I've seen it. And so to hear this fucking idiot get up there and play victim all the time, and then Hegseth play victim all the time, it's exhausting. I don't know how anybody. I think you mentioned a little bit the other day, Brad. We were talking about cycle game, but I just don't know how anybody is not tired of hearing what a victimized these people are in their fucking 3-piece suits.
Oh.
I'm exhausted by how fucking unfair everything is. If I have to hear that fucking Cheeto say unfair one more goddamn time, I'm gonna find him. Like I just don't understand. Like I can't take any more of this nonsense from them. It's fake news. The media. No, bro, it's you. You're doing it. You're the problem. And there's no accountability at the highest levels. And it's bullshit. This is not the way it was meant to be. I'm not dumb, but I'm out of breath.
Period.
Even at the lowest levels, when there are crimes and the penalty is merely a fine, that crime only affects poor people. That punishment only affects poor people.
Yeah.
It
But
doesn't affect a rich person.
don't pay any actual penalties either because they can easily afford the fines.
Exactly. They don't care. It's not a penalty for them.
No.
And now our president was found guilty on 34 felony counts. And instead of humbling him, somehow he was elected the president of the United States of America. And I'm not sure if you could possibly feel any more invincible than Donald Trump feels right now. Donald Trump loves Donald Trump so much. But once he realized that he was the president again, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I don't know how him and his ego can possibly fit into that suit.
You'd think one of them would get their head chopped off and run into that helicopter and back.
It doesn't make any. I don't understand. Obviously, like we see it in everyday life, how poor people are affected drastically more than people with wealth.
Yeah.
And that's not like an opinion statement. That is a matter of fact.
I mean,
And
mask is completely off. Mask is completely off. The man wants to go back to 1790, and people are like, hell yeah, go ahead and do it. Every Republican is like, hell yeah, go ahead and do it. So just remember that if there's a Republican in your district, that dude said, yeah, hell yeah, go ahead and do that.
for the most part, for me, I would like to operate from the sense of one world population. And I don't care about the borders, none of that shit. I don't care about any of that. That doesn't, I don't care about any of that. So for us to just be like, well, you're out of here. Well, you're out of here. Like, if I was to be arrested right now, I 100 million% would get a phone call and a lawyer before I was ever taken past my county jail.
Yep.
100% no questions, ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm a law-abiding, tax-paying citizen. I happen to be of the Caucasian variety. They're going to be upset about taking me in and then take me directly to an attorney.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm poor. Like, you know what I mean? I don't even have
Right.
money. I'm just a regular ass person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy that people are just, like you said, because they crossed an imaginary line, can just be sent. Like when you put it into, when even I, like as bad as I think it is, I've never really put it into perspective of you've crossed an imaginary line and now your punishment is life in prison. Like to say it like that flat out is like, hey, you're essentially in a concentration camp now because you came to America for a better life and now look at you.
Yeah. You were standing over there. Concentration.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
insane.
No, and then there is no justification, by the way, in case it's unclear somehow, for concentration camps. I feel like that's terrible that I have to say that, but I feel like also I have to say that. No room for it. All right, we got to take a break. We got to take a break. So this break is sponsored by Psych Nobody, especially not Prime Energy Drink. From producers Jake and Logan Paul, this drink was supposed to be taken off the market, but it remains on sale in full reach of the children it was sued for killing. But money over morals, that's the Logan family motto. So if watching grandma lose her social security and Meals on Wheels isn't enough to satisfy your need for liberal tears, make like a Paul and get in the ring with her and knock her old ass out. Find another singer and fucking knock back a Prime and knock them out too. It's the Jake Paul way. Let's take a break. We'll be back.
Like and subscribe. Feed. Watch us on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, sometimes on Blue Sky. Follow us on New Realization Nation.
All right, welcome back to the What's Left podcast. So good we got that out of our system. Let's talk about some stuff we found on the internet this week. We'll start with Brad. Brad, what you got for us? All right, nice. That's really
It's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle.
It really
dude, TikTok has some of the best baby. Like, if babies don't put you in a good mood, you're doing something wrong.
Have you seen the new trend that I'm so hungry I could eat a kid? That one cracks me up every time.
Every time.
Oh
my gosh, they're so funny.
What? No, I haven't.
Yeah, they just say that in front of their child and then tape their reactions. Like, I'm so hungry I could eat a kid. The kids react to it. It's so funny.
That's great. I'll be hip to that like 2 weeks from now. That's how that works. That's great. Yeah, man, that's the truth. I don't want to share that. That's oversharing. It was hot today. It was hot.
I hear that.
It was hot. And there's that early summer chafing. It's rough. Let's check out Jake's.
Thanks for coming to get me. I was wondering, I need to pick up a couple things. I was wondering where you think I should pick them up from. Target or Costco? Whoa, that food from that restaurant was really good. Expensive though. Probably because of the tariffs. Okay, I'm ready. You mind if I put on a little music? Okay, great. Woo! It's a little chilly in here. Don't you think it's a little bit chilly? Whew. I'm gonna put on my scarf. Oh, it was so nice to run into my friend. I haven't seen her in a while since she moved out somewhere by the Gulf of Mexico. Oh, thanks for picking me up. I really got to get myself a new car. I was thinking about getting a Tesla.
Oh my god. Listen, the Tesla one is perfect, right? It's not just relationships, man. It's like even people at work. I'm like,
She did one about like friends and stuff. They're all so funny. So funny.
Yeah, they're all good.
It's so true because I want to gauge what you're feeling. I want to know where you at.
Right. No, it's important. Trust me. Like, I need to know now, off the rip. Like, this is the most important thing we're gonna fucking talk about today. Because the rest of it's not gonna matter much.
No, I'm not gonna like you if it's anything different.
No, there are just certain uncompromisable principles. Human rights, Tesla. There's things. There's lines we don't cross. Tell me something good, Jake.
So I saw. I don't know if I have like crazy good things, but there's some funny ones. Like, I don't know if you guys ever play Minecraft.
I have.
And the starting screen, it says Minecraft, and there's always like a little quote or something like on the side in front of like their name, and they put "fuck Trump." So it's still okay to play Minecraft, thank God. I love Amy Poehler's podcast. Jack Black was on this week, and it was great. Love Jack Black speaking Minecraft. Loved it. That's about it.
Yeah.
It's nothing crazy good, but
those are two people, like, for real, joyful people. Jack Black and Amy Poehler. Like, I can't help but like feel better.
She hooked me right in. I love her podcast.
Yeah. It is good. I can't hear it at work. It's too loud, and she's too quiet. But you know, I listen to it at other times. But my most listening time is at work, so I'm not as far ahead yet. I'm gonna skip ahead to Jack Black though for sure.
I love Jack Black.
Hell yeah, that's cool as fuck. Brad, tell me about the Cavaliers and other good things that happened to you this week.
Well, as you know, the Cavs are getting the job done as they should. But
No doubt,
also today it was 80 degrees or something like that, dude.
it was
And
indeed.
sometimes my work does real cool shit. And today, real cool shit. Uh, so we had our like professional development day, and we did the professional development part in the morning, and then we all went to the ball fields, um, and there were like 100 of us divided into kickball teams, and we played kickball, and it was sick, bro. It was so much fun, just hanging out with everybody. Like it was a good time. So we played a bunch of kickball today. I'm obviously going golfing on Sunday because the sun will probably rise, and if that's the case, I'll be at a golf course Sunday morning.
Yes.
I have a 7:45 tee time, so that's beautiful. Um, we're gonna figure out the wedges this week. Rad's going low. I just wanted it on the record, so we'll
Nice.
touch back on this next week when when I'm like breaking golf clubs over my knee.
That's what's up.
Oh, and I got to cut my grass for the first time yesterday. As a dad, I feel like I'm reaching the pinnacle because my grass is ahead of my neighbors right now, so I'm like whooping them, whooping him.
Nice.
He came out today to mow. I think he had an issue with his mower, so he couldn't mow today. So now I got him by 2 days. I know he's devastated. I know he's crushed, bro. He's devastated.
Devastated.
But
It's
either way,
getting
the weather's getting beautiful, bro. That seasonal depression is washing off, and
yeah.
it's like it doesn't, suck as bad to be alive.
Yeah. Dude, it's like if this one thing would just go away. You know?
Right?
You get shape. I don't know. I'll tell you, for me, I wasn't thinking about this one, but I did find golf buddies up here. So I get my clubs up next available opportunity so we can start getting around because my goal is to at least hit 100 this year. Like
Right.
break 100 seems ambitious, but like that's the goal. Like that's the dividing line. That's what we're shooting for. By the end of the year, I want to shoot 100.
All right. Well,
That's
this fall we'll go off that, and I'll meet you at like the line. We'll pick a course
bet.
on the line somewhere,
Bet.
and we'll have some fun. Let's do some golfing. But I'm going low. Mark me. I don't know. 82.
82.
I'm going
You know what?
82.
I expect nothing less from you.
All
Having
right.
gone plenty of times, I'm surprised you didn't say like 75.
I'm telling you, my wedges make me want to quit playing. I
Yeah.
don't. For some reason, I don't have the ability to chip the ball right now, and it's like disgusting. I'm thinking about just going fucking Texas wedge, everything close. I'm putting it, baby. Let's see how it works out.
Brad is more talented on the golf course than I am, but we both go out with the same attitude, like we're about to shoot 72. Like every fucking time. Like you walk up to the first tee, like this is about to be incredible. And then we usually play the one course where I just promptly slice the ball directly into the fucking river. I don't even, it's so bad. It's every time. It's like a magnet. Except for the first round out after prison. Fucking that was clean down the fairway. Almost to the green off the tee. That was a stroke. That's
That
all
was
I'm
a
telling
great
you.
one.
It was good
Oh
though.
yeah.
Let's fairway. Uh anyway, so yeah, there's that. There's the Cavaliers, and there is a New York Times op-ed by one of my favorite comedian, Larry David. It's just for those who don't know, Bill Maher went to Mar-a-Lago and ate dinner with Trump, and then like came back and was like, "Oh, he was surprisingly like human or whatever." So Larry David wrote an op-ed called "My Dinner with Hitler," and it is just a sardonic like it's classic Larry. The only thing that I wish that we had was a version of it with him reading it in his own voice because there are just the parts where he's like, "Oh, mein Führer," that I know like hearing it in Larry's cadence would fucking kill. And so I just hope I hope that's on its way out. But if you have a New York Times subscription, check it out. If you do not, I'm going to share it to Threads so you can check it out there. I'll use it as my gift article. So check that out. But yeah, man, it's short and it's funny. It just made my day because the absurdity of it all. Larry, not a fan of Donald Trump's, by the way, never has been. But yeah, that's what's good with me, man. Been a decent week.
Good.
Been a good show.
It has been a good show. This was fun.
Yeah, always is. Thank you guys for being here. I have exciting news on the merchandise front. If you are currently a subscriber, we have screenshot the list, and you are eligible for 10% off the first purchase of our merchandise, which will be t-shirts, 10% off cost. These are t-shirts that are made in a union factory and screen printed in a union factory. And they will feature our new logo, which is sweet. And I think on the back, it's going to say the Punk Rock Garage Band a podcast. Because I just love that little tagline. So it's coming real soon. Real soon. So that's there to look forward to. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. Share us all over YouTube, especially. But also on Threads, Instagram, TikTok. I missed one. We're on Blue Sky, sort of, but fuck that. It sucks. It does. I'm sorry, man. Like, but it's boring. So anyway, yeah, we're out
It's
there.
essentially an echo chamber. Like I say that Twitter's an echo chamber. Blue Sky's just an echo chamber for the other side.
It is, man. I feel like I'm reading the same news I read like 2 weeks ago every time I log in.
Yeah, like it's an echo chamber.
And they don't have trending topics. Like that's the whole point of the Twitter is to find out what's trending, catch yourself up. So fix that. Duh. Anyway, that's what's good this week. So I'm John.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Brad.
And that's what's left.
Hey, that was a weird end.
That was a weird end.
What part? All of it?
No, just like we were talking and then you're like, all right, I'm John.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
We were so fucking awkward, bud.
All right. Fine. Well, now that's the end.
Cool.
That's better.